My apologies, guys. I had some StreamYard issues, but now we are back. So, again, Top Gun from the top, getting into Baltimore Ravens win over the Cleveland Browns in week 12. Ravens defense, Browns defense played nice games overall. They did a great job of staying consistent, shutting down the run game, preventing explosive gains there on both sides. The Browns and Ravens passing offenses both consistently failed to really make the opposing defense pay, especially the Ravens when there were blown coverages. The Browns did capitalize on a couple big gains early to Jarvis Landry, later to Harrison Bryant, and a couple other ones there, but ultimately was a pretty forgettable performance from both offenses. Lamar Jackson, probably his worst game of the year, I'd say, in terms of mechanics, pocket presence, footwork, accuracy, timing, anticipation, and just straight quarterbacking. Was a bad game for Lamar. So, the interceptions to me don't even tell the whole story. The only really bad one that I saw was when Grant Delpit lurked and was a robber down into the box, and Lamar just simply missed that one and threw him the football. The other one, Rashad Bateman tips it. Mark Andrews, is the intended target. It bounces off Bateman's hand, then a defender, then someone else. So that one was definitely forgettable. But tip passes from your own team, not gonna knock you for that too bad. The other one, he, bad throw to Mark Andrews, bad read. Thought that he was gonna break, sit down, I guess, and lean inside against the grain or something. Andrews is breaking out. Lamar tries to be on time and just missed it. And then the other one is a deep moon ball to Mark Andrews, and John Johnson kind of swats down on the ball, but ends up with it somehow. It was a weird play. So there were some more plays that Lamar just failed to capitalize on. There were several blown coverages by the Browns, and Ravens just every time they blow a coverage, usually the opposition makes them pay, and Lamar's not seeing these blown coverages downfield, and it's definitely pretty concerning. I don't think he's really played well the last 3 or 4 games he's played. I don't think there's been the same consistency that we saw early on in terms of standing tall, driving the ball confidently to the sideline, things like that. So as the season's worn on, I think he's having some of the same problems that he had around this time last year, which is just hesitation, dropping his eyes, not going through his reads, a lot of bad stuff. So it's on him to fix it up. He's been sick. He doesn't trust the O-line, blah, 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 blah. Tired of the excuses at this point. I think that he's still, great quarterback, 100% franchise guy, but got to play better, man. Got to play better. This offensive line is really not doing that bad of a job. They're not great. Alejandro Villanueva loses a couple times a game, and everyone acts like it's, the craziest thing on earth that a tackle lets up 3 or 4 pressures, but they've done a decent job, that offensive line. I don't think they're a dominant unit, but they gave him clean pockets probably 8, 10, 12 times, and he didn't really do anything with them. So sometimes that's the invariable luck of football. Sometimes it's skill, sometimes it's talent, sometimes it's different things, but the Ravens need to do a better job making defenses pay, man, and Lamar definitely does as well. So the Dolphins kind of outplayed them a couple weeks ago. I don't think that the Browns defense really outplayed the Ravens. I think the Ravens just failed to make them pay. Browns got a lot of lucky breaks. The Ravens rushing to attack is not explosive, but it is consistent, and I think it's successful, especially in terms of just converting first downs when they need them. So without further ado, let's start from the top. My apologies if you jumped in on this already, but let's get into the tape. I'm going to start back up from the top. Had some technical issues with what I was sharing earlier, like a big dummy, but that's why I'm Ravens for Dummies. So without further ado, let's get into it. Week after week, we're seeing Queen ID motions and kill plays. So on this one, we'd see early on in the game, Browns are in 13 personnel, kind of like a YY ace. So you see the 2 tight ends here, one on the line, one is a wing, and then the other side. So Queen is the weak side linebacker here because the run strength is to the right because of the 2 tight ends in line, but pretty base defense here. Ravens are leaning a little bit this way. See these 3 and then this triangle to go 6 on 6. And we see Justin Ellis, Brandon Williams, Justin Matabike here. And we're going to see Jarvis Landry come in motion. And watch how Queen just times that motion up. When Landry gets there, he knows that the ball is being snapped. So he just completely commits through it and pardon me, and times it perfectly, confidently, doesn't make too much noise about it, does a good job letting Justin Ellis know he's coming inside with the hand so that Ellis isn't going to hit him down. Takes on that hit because he's square and he's under control with nice, consistent strides. Bryant hits him kind of square. It looks like it's in the back, but he probably hits him pretty square in the shoulder pad. Maybe a little in the back, but sends him right into Chubb's ankle anyway. Tackle for loss. He's pumped up. I think he's really starting to be a Baltimore Ravens linebacker through and through. Again, that motion, he just times it right up. He's a smart football player. Ravens did a great job taking the load off of his plate, reducing his snaps. Like I've talked about before, he's playing on first and second down in base or base nickel, and then taking him out in clear and obvious pass situations as well as in the red zone. And now they're starting to work him back up. He had the most snaps of any Ravens linebacker this week. So Patrick Queen's doing a great job. Fun to watch. Baltimore Ravens tackling, I had that hold him up, rally to the football. And Harrison Bryant's not a spectacular athlete after the catch, but this is Baltimore Ravens football. First guy's got to be under control, secure the tackle, and then the cavalry can come and make a play. Baker gets the ball out quick. Humphrey comes up, and the cavalry comes and sticks him. How many times have we seen the cavalry come force a ball loose back in Ray Lewis's days or throughout, Ravens of years past? So nice job by Humphrey to stay neutral, wrap him up, and then the cavalry can come and end the play. And that's rallying to the football. And the Ravens love to say, run to the football, life is fast, run to the ball, things of that nature. But at this point, you can't be out of control. The first guy can't be out of control. First guy needs to secure it. Everybody else needs to come in with urgency, but control. And go make a play. So that's what we see there. I think they did a nice job tackling this game. This one, the Browns run a sail concept, and it's a good kind of cover one, cover three beater. We see the Ravens in this single high structure. Chuck Clark down in the box. These guys could be manned up, but could be cover one in that sense with Bynes as the robber or as the hook defender, and then Stevens over top in the middle of the field. But that's not the case. They are playing some zone, and at this point, Clark is going to have Hunt on the outside. Bynes is going to have Hunt on the inside. And then it's going to be Averett carrying this route vertical. And then there's Stevens. And so Landry, we're going to see push inside. Watch his track. Landry is outside the hash, and he runs inside the hash, and then he turns it back out. And there's just nobody there. So that's really simple stuff for an explosive gain. Stevens goes conservative, gets a tackle. Landry's able to get a little bit after the catch, but there's no pressure. They're blitzing again. The Browns have the split back. I guess the Ravens are maybe anticipating, run a little bit here with a heavy box and something of the sort. They've got Ellis, Williams, and Matabike playing 3-tech, 0-tech, 3-tech, or 4-eye, and they rush 5, and it gets no pressure. I mean, Ellis is still coming out of his stance. Nobody does anything. Baker's got all day, just delivers a nice ball. Explosive gain, very simple. I mean, that's simple stuff. We can talk about maybe switching, letting Averett roll with Landry here, and Stevens starting to shade over. If Averett were to sit and switch, I mean, if Stevens had kind of drifted a little bit more this way, considering he's got Humphrey on the backside, he should have that security there, but not the case. Averett's going to run with his man. And then there's just he's got 6 yards of separation any way he wants. So if that's Tyreek Hill, if that's, Justin Jefferson or someone to Jamar Chase, someone dangerous after the catch, more so than Landry, who's more of a, possession guy at this point in his career, especially. Well, not even, guy ran 4.8 coming out of the combine, but could have been a much bigger play. So pretty poor there overall, but Browns did a good job as a beater for it. Here is where Baker starts being terrible very quickly early in the game. Browns opening drive. Ravens are kind of stuffing the box here, anticipating the run. Good for the Browns. I'm looking at the Browns perspective. Good. Everybody's flowing to the run. Bowser stays home enough. And look at these two tight ends leak out. Tight ends sell their blocks. Let's go back. So let's watch Njoku on the right is an ace, and Hooper sell their blocks, and then just pivot back out. And nobody's with them. I mean, soup du jour. Who do you want? Stevens is running back over there, but that's that's a big gain. That might find its. That's probably going to find its way into the end zone. They can block for each other. Instead, we see Donovan Peoples-Jones. Baker tries to re-square with Bowser in his face and get this ball out with a ton of velocity when he didn't really need to. Could have thrown a meatball earlier, I guess, and throws it high. Peoples-Jones pushes off of Humphrey. You can see right here. Push right there, that extension. Turns back, and then Baker throws a high ball. Chuck Clark comes up, makes him pay. But missed opportunity for the Browns. Just no one covering these tight ends. They really didn't care about the pass that much in this game, to be honest. They were committing everybody that way. And from here, you see in his line of vision, two Browns running. Instead, he starts to go with Peoples-Jones back across, takes this, downfield shot. Peoples-Jones could have caught that. It was fine. It wasn't the most accurate pass, but it was fine. But just take the low-hanging fruit if you're Baker. I mean, he's just got blinders on, I guess, because he's going through in his vision right here. Everything's in his vision. Everything's in his vision. There's no one there. You can sidearm the ball. And you're getting at least 10 yards. So Baker not making the Ravens pay there on multiple levels. And I think that was the theme of the day for both quarterbacks. Browns run outside zone in the yellow area. Bynes sets the front to Matabike out to a 5-tech. He gets hand placement on Wills and forces Chubb to cut back. OA closes down the sideline and slams Chubb. I had that OA is a very high-level run defender. And he had a good game rushing the passer in this one. I made a video breakdown about that, but has a good game as a pass rusher. And in this one, as a run defender, I mean, him closing down the line, you see from the backside there, he is the perfect person to close down the line and hit Nick Chubb. So let's go back to it. Ravens in a little bit of a tight front, I guess. And we see Matabike prevent Wills from sealing him, establishes himself inside. Queen does a nice job working over top. And then OA just closes out. And we see Bynes setting the front here. Kicking everybody outside, making sure they're properly set, the veteran. Otherwise, they could have sealed it easily. Bynes is working. Everybody's working. Washington's working. He gets tripped over Teller's leg, but then OA comes in and slams the door shut. And OA is a good run defender, man. I think he's coming along as a pass rusher. I think this was a great game for him in that department, but high-level run defender consistently. And that's what Drew Wilkins and Wink Martindale and Eric DaCosta all said, that he is a very high-level run defender coming out of Penn State, and he has the unteachable tools as a pass rusher. So we see it all on display there. So here, this is one I broke down a little bit, and I can see it a little better, but OA's in this wide alignment here, almost in a 9 in the track stance. Browns are blocking up again. And we see OA try to go for the speed rush, the speed rip. And he doesn't set it up well enough because Conklin is a super quick, nimble tackle who doesn't have a ton of power or anchor or drive. I guess he has some drive in the run game. That's not the right word, but anchor. He doesn't have a lot of sand in the pants in pass pro. So the guys that he will struggle with will usually be guys that attack his chest plate. So OA out of the blocks is already moving. He's already upright. Conklin's starting to get threatened by the speed here. And we're going to go through slowly. We see Conklin kicking and kicking. Look how wide that his hands are. And this is where you want to see OA use that inside long arm to stab that chest. OA can strike like a cobra here, but he doesn't really do it. And he lets Conklin start to get his hands up. And he doesn't shoot his hand accurately. It's off. He's trying to bend the corner Tries to get to the rip. Conklin ties up that outside hand. Oweh's not square enough to shoot. He doesn't have any power coming from his bottom half into his hands to stun. He's really trying to corner there. And Conklin just rejects it. He gets that outside hand trapped inside, and then he hits Oweh's elbow, delays the rip, moves his feet, and turns Oweh back the other way. And Marlon Humphrey has really tight coverage there. So just interesting from Oweh here, looking around otherwise. Board in Houston, Board's just kind of bluffing. And Matabike is going against Teller here, trying to work him. Teller tosses him a little bit there. So we see that get set up a little bit later. I'll get back to that one later when we get to it. But I said Freeman didn't need to make this cut. I do think Freeman had a nice game here. Just going through. This is inside zone-ish. There's not double team, so it's not duo, but kind of like duo. And you just see this little hole, this little sliver here. Freeman could have gone through. Bozeman's working to seal it up. And he lets the linebacker scrape down. He goes against the linebacker. So he didn't need to make this cut like that. He could have kept on that path, but almost like a counter, I guess. Let me look at his steps. It's probably a counter. There's a two-way go there. And he goes, and then he tries to go back inside it. It's too late at that point. So Freeman had done a nice job. Not super explosive, but is what it is. Here I had that there's just no reason for Lamar to, I think this one I needed to, yep. All right. It's just no reason for Lamar to be moving around here and wasting clean pockets. I get it. You're playing Clowney, you're playing Garrett, whatever. Your offensive line is not the most talented in the world, but on this play, you've got Andrews chipping. You've got Ricard there. Ricard really kind of doesn't do a great job here, to be honest. I'm sure he'd tell you he could have given a better effort here, but you see guys come open early, so they're going to go with a play action. We're going to see Bateman on a wheel, and Sammy Watkins is going to run kind of a speed curl and bend back to Lamar, and both of them are open. Play action, Watkins is open. Defender's turned around, and Lamar's at the top of his drop looking at it, and you can zip that. I mean, you can zip that ball somewhere inside. Watkins is turning back to you still turning back to you. Here you can see he's starting to work back. You also get Murray leaking out of the backfield. And I think Lamar just wanted to try to move these linebackers away, but he didn't need to. I mean, look how much space he has. And really, Watkins is between the two of them anyway. At the same time, Bateman, it's not his read, whatever, but, we've seen this play in Denver where they do the motion wheel stop. We saw Duvernay catch one against the Broncos on this. So Bateman's, right there. You can fit that ball in there. So both options wide open. Spacing's not bad. Andrews and Murray are starting to take this away. These two aren't great being right next to each other, but linebackers going there. Lamar tries to attack the line of scrimmage, we'll see. And Myles Garrett wins eventually. So we'll see Andrews chip him. Boom, inside. Then Ricard here could have done a better job stepping inside. Doesn't really do much. Villanueva is too up high, which is, he's 6'9", so he always ends up being up high. Garrett gets low and shoots that arm. And that's what we're talking about with Oweh. That's how you beat tackles, man. You get your long arm inside, your inside arm. You create a 45-degree angle for power and plant off of your back foot. And then you drive through them with efficient feet. And at this point, Lamar's running up still. But it's like he didn't even need to move. And Myles is going to have to bend back outside if he just chills. Lamar doesn't need to move here. Look, he's chilling. What do you need to step up for? I think it's because he wants to move 4. And he just didn't need to anyway. So, people are like, oh, he's coming back. He missed a game. I guess, but he missed one game and he's that kind of lost immediately. Because there's some bad ones, man. There's some bad ones. Appears to be an RPO with the screen to the trips. And the Browns baited Lamar in. It feels like they anticipated that they could bait the draw. on 2nd and long following that sack that we just went over. So we got trips to the right, Murray to the left, and I think that's Watkins if I'm not mistaken. And there's no one over the A gap. And to me, that's baiting Lamar into a draw because watch these defenders. So this is actually an RPO, and Harbaugh was talking about these at the press conference today. So this is an RPO. It's going to be a screen. And watch these defenders, how they are so ready. Eyes, they all ran away from it, and they all kept their eyes back, and they all rallied to the ball. And look at those rush lanes right there, or I guess those pursuit lanes. JOK does a good job maintaining outside leverage, forces it back into the teeth. And meanwhile, you got a nice little screen setup at the top. So they baited Lamar. He knows there's no one over the A gaps. He's like, I'm going to take this. They had a nice little screen setup down there. Could have gotten a few yards. And here we'll just see the reverse angle, or this is the end zone angle. Again, nobody over the A gap. What are the Ravens going to do if you don't line anyone up over the A gap at empty? They're going to run a draw. They baited this. I think that's John Johnson comes up. Everybody's there. Everybody's there. So I think that was a nice job from the Browns defense. All right. Here is the third down. So these are 3 straight plays that are just frustrating. And I really think, second one, I'm not going to say is Lamar's fault or anything, but I think the Browns did a good job there. This one's kind of bad. So the Browns are giving this pressure look, and it looks like this is a beater that's designed to beat this pressure look, especially if it's a cover 0 look where these guys don't drop off the ball. We're going to see a mesh concept where Andrews is going to run the shallow, but he's really just blocking and setting a pick. We're going to see Duvernay come the other way behind it, and we're going to see the Ravens try to block it up. We see Rashad Bateman step inside as well. So right here, ball should be out. Ball should be out. And Bateman really is already blocking. That was kind of perfectly timed. Murray's coming up to go seal the outside. And Lamar just throws this ball high, inaccurate, and it forces Duvernay to have to jump up and get it. Because otherwise, let's say that you hit Duvernay right here in stride, quite a mess. Denzel Ward's not going to be able to get underneath of it. So he's going to have to go over top of all of these. And this defender is turned inside. So if you hit Duvernay there, maybe he's able to make the tackle still. But right here, Duvernay would be in full acceleration with this defender's hips turned that way. Duvernay is going to run right behind Murray and Bateman, who are double teaming this defender. Ward is a great athlete, and maybe he's able to go make a play, let's say a yard or two at like the 40, 45, 44. But you're going to be in go for it territory. Instead, the ball is inaccurate. Duvernay doesn't get it in stride, has to slow up for it, and Ravens have to punt. So I like the design. I think the Browns still could have made a play for sure, but just not great from Lamar. Too much zip on it. Too much mustard. And if we try to look at his feet and everything, let's see. Pretty narrow. He's throwing from that sidearm slot. Too much juice on it. Arm slot's pretty low. I mean, you don't need to throw it around anybody. His front feet are closed. There's no hip. There's no torque into it. It's all arm. And when you're all arm, you're inaccurate. And we've seen that. When he's inaccurate, it's all arm. So missed opportunity there, I think. And for all we know, Duvernay, he hits 22 miles an hour just about. The ball in his hands. Like, he can fly, man. So we're going to watch Bowser on this one, who has just been playing chef's kiss as of late. And for all the young football players out there who want to know how to play action, this is how you play action. So again, the Ravens are going heavy with the heavy front. The Browns are in heavy personnel. They're matching all these heads in the box. You got Matabike, Williams and Washington now, Queen and Bynes, Bowser and Owe. So the Browns are going to run this play action here. And watch the way Bowser reads it. So he's going to lock out and hold the edge. He shoots those hands. Look at that nice hand placement. Bowser's a smaller dude, but he's gotten so relative to an offensive tackle or typical edges. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but look at that hand placement right there. He uses all of his length to make sure that that tackle can't get into his chest plate. Now he reads that it's not a run, so he's going to take it away. get skinny, and rip under. Look at that. Look at that dip. Look at where Wills is. Hand on the back already, blocking him right in the back immediately, which just, Browns and Steelers, whatever, always get away with those. Rips around. He's coming to hawk it out. Baker knows it, so it was a good play by Baker to pull this down because Baker didn't like what he was seeing. We see Humphrey there, read it a little bit. Baker would have had to make a, tight throw. He's like, oh, I can feel this pressure coming in because Bowser was ready to come pop that ball out. So if you want to know how to play action, we see Queen, Hall, Baker, Gimpy. You can see him pulling up short there, trying to take some weight off that heel. That heel had like 14 ace bandages on it. But again, just watch Bowser in full speed. Lock out, reduce, underneath, run, corner. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. Of course, blocked in the back, no call. It's fine, whatever. But love it from Bowser. Love it, love it, love it, love it from Bowser. Patrick Queen meeting the pulling guard in the hole here. I think this guard's going to pull, and Queen is to the run strength. So he is the Mike here. He's the Mike, everybody. And got the fullback, got the tight end. Bowser and Bynes, Queen and Bynes communicating. So, I mean, with this is a nice base against a team like the Browns because Owe and Bowser are both guys that can hold the edge well, but they also present a ton of juice. They both also can cover a little bit, drop off a little bit, provide some variability there, but tons of speed for those two against play action. They're going to be able to close if they can win in any way after, the pass rush win rate and everything is 2.5 seconds. So if the quarterback holds the ball a little longer than that, they're going to come free eventually, be able to make a play. But here it's going to be like a blast, like a power lead. And watch Queen just fill the space. He knows I have to hit a lineman here. I have to muddy this up. So he's already leaning in because he's going to go same shoulder, same foot, and launch at that guard. Bynes replaces him right behind. And Queen makes that a tiny hole for Nick Chubb to have to hesitate through. Williams is fighting, and Chubb just trips up. So in full speed, watch Queen just come take this on. This is what you want to see. Bam! That's linebacker. Meet him. You have to beat him to their spot. He's a small linebacker, 6 foot, 230. Beat him to their spot, and bam! Into the backfield. Chubb can't run. He can't get going. He can't hit second and third gear and try and get to the second level here because Queen went and blew it up. Washington also maybe gets away with a little bit of a trip here. I think he's doing a little stanky leg there. A little stanky leg. Muddy it up. Yeah. Could definitely blow his ACL out from what he's doing, but he's trying to get back up and hold some ground. Hands to the face on Teller too. Washington getting dirty in the trenches. So just love to see it. Love, love, love to see it. Opening drive. So here's where we see what I went off of earlier. So again, if you recall, it's pretty much the same alignment from Owe. And look at that track stance out of him, man. That flat back, that arm, that hand back so that he can shoot it forward. Hell of an athlete. It was just hilarious. People were just like, oh, he has trouble out of his stance. Then how the hell did he run 4.3 at 255 if he has trouble out of his stance? What are you talking about? He doesn't have, obviously he has speed in his stance. So he's out wide here. And this is something they didn't do at Penn State a lot. They didn't use him like this. He was usually where Matabike is a lot of the time because he was their alpha defensive end type run defender. A lot of his plays were in low gear, which is like we talked about Bowser on that play action. Bowser wasn't rushing right upfield. He was reading play action. So that's that, it's tough to win like that when you're reading the run. It's really tough to win like that. That's why that was such a great rep. But anyway, so in the first one we saw Owe trying to go against Conklin, the right tackle, who is really nimble. And we saw Conklin give his chest up. And maybe they go back on the sideline and look at the tablet a little bit, or they talk about it, and he's giving his chest up. So Owe, already out of his stance. Again, snap anticipation. He's up, and he's coming. Now we're going to see the first step is directly at Conklin. Reduces the distance. Conklin, again, arms wide open, giving up his chest. So now we see Bowser pointing upfield. So that's going to tell Conklin, okay, he's going to do what he already did. He's going to do what I know he does. He's going to go for that speed rip. But He then re-squares and shortens his stride and shoots those hands. And look at that. Making him look like he's on the porta potty. Look at that. And what did I say about Garrett? That 45-degree angle. Look at that nice diagonal off the back foot. And then he continues the power onto his front foot. So he shot those hands. I mean, watch this in real time, how quick these hands are. Watch the hands. Bam! Right there. And he has nice balanced strides through it. I mean, John Conklin was an all-pro in 2020. He's coming back from an elbow injury, I think. But holy shit, man. That's just crazy. Bam! Right through him. And this ends up being a good play for the Browns. It looks like Chuck Clark gets hit into somebody. The Browns make a mess. I don't know what the hell Chuck Clark is doing. I don't know. This is a bad rep for Chuck Clark. But holy shit. Knocked Conklin out of the game. I think it's actually because Teller comes and then hits Owe right in his back. And then you see the tangle up there, right? You can kind of see how that knee turned back there. And I think that's where the patellar got dislocated. So not a great rep on the back end, but holy shit, Odafe Owe is a madman. So absolutely great. So the PFF charted Patrick Queen with 2 missed tackles, and I'm guessing they called this one of them. So I didn't get the beginning of the play by accident, but it looks like a split zone or the tight end lead. And so here he's coming, he's hitting Chubb, and his own man kind of hits into him a little bit. Chubb's hard to wrap up. Ferguson's got him by the leg, so Ferguson kind of comes in and hits him. So it's like, all right, there's your there's your big missed tackle, and he has one more on Chubb. So if you want to call it a missed tackle, sure, but he goes down effectively anyway. He hit him. I don't have the whole play, but I get that. Everyone's like, why is Patrick Queen have a 59? I guess this is why. I guess that. But it's like, okay, that's not exactly a high leverage situation. And this guys get the job done. Defender made a nice play trailing on 3rd down here. We're going to see this trips level. It's a little bit of a kind of a stack almost. Might be a little bit far for Watkins. I don't know if they could high five. That's usually my rule of thumb. If you can high five, you're in a bunch. So we see Andrews inside on the line of scrimmage, Bateman, and then Watkins. And they're going to try and run a little chaos here. So we see Andrews leading the clear out. You would have liked to see Andrews maybe set a little bit more of a pick there or something, but I think that's Newsome is 20. I can't remember the number of Warden Newsome. I think that's Newsome. Does a great job trailing, but then watch Sammy Watkins come out of this thing. Swoop. Wide open. But that's fine. I mean, 20 made a great play. Bateman, right across your vision. Pass is okay. And could not run him. 20 makes a good play. But some things you pick up on film for the next time. And I guess the Browns will be watching it too, plenty. So maybe not. But, I mean, Watkins gives that jab step inside. Everybody loses him. Everybody sees what's happening with Bateman, I guess. 21, I think, is supposed to be the man on Watkins. And he's just alone. But good play. We'll go watch it from Lamar. So, quick timing, 3rd down, trying to get the ball out. Defender's fast. Bateman was okay, able to maintain some speed, but yeah, that's Newsome. So he's just able to chase it down. I like Newsome. I had a high grade on him coming out of the draft. He's done a nice job. So Christian Welch gets into this game quite a bit here. And we see him as the Mike here. Queen is the Will. 2 tight ends. Browns love that 13 personnel because they have no wide receivers. So Queen up on the line of scrimmage. And we're going to see Welch. Not a great play from Queen. He was kind of guessing there a little bit. Had something he thought might have been a weak side run. Wanted to stiffen it up the A-gap. But watch Welch just naturally flow right into the gap. Right where he's supposed to. So it takes away that lane. Stevens a little bit late here. And these two get sealed up. I think it's, what is this? This is Bowser and Matabike get sealed up here a bit. Wills gets good inside underneath controlled hands and steps. These two almost trip on each other. And then Bowser kind of gets sealed Humphrey gets sealed. So Hunt hits exactly where he's supposed to. Stevens, I don't think this is one of their biggest runs of the day. It was probably like 7 or 8 yards. So Stevens played it conservative. He didn't want Hunt to be able to bounce outside and give it up. But at the same time, Chuck Clark, and I'm nitpicking here, but Chuck Clark is backside. He's going to be rallying there. So if he goes inside there, you can go fill this a little bit more aggressively with outside leverage. Clark should be coming. So Stevens is playing conservative. Again, it just reminds me a lot of Deshaun Elliott last year in playing conservatively, coming in and starting in his first couple starts. And Elliott had 3 years in the Ravens system, played a couple games, watched a ton of film, played safety at Texas, was I think an All-American at Texas, and it's fine. So I don't know. I'm nitpicking a little bit. Browns convert here, but I had that Welch fluidly stuck his nose in there. So big boy. Jarvis Landry in here secretly playing tight end. So this looks like it's a 04 personnel, but it's a 13. Or no, excuse me. It looks like it's a 1-4, and it's a 13. We got Landry in there. Hunt in that short fullback, kind of obviously going to get the ball situation, but watch Welch just Queen's going to go jump the A gap. Watch Welch just fluidly go try to replace and hit him. I think Welch is a really good run defending linebacker based on this game. Saw some nice things out of him. Just scrapes right over top, stays neutral, goes and fills. Nothing crazy, but just natural. Where's it going to be? Shuffle tech. I've talked a lot about shuffle tech. Stay square, quick feet, go. Like to see him get a little lower there. He's a tall guy, but get a little lower. Some natural stuff out of Welch in this one. I think we have some more Welch here. Yeah, here, Matabike and Welch blow this up. They have this tight 3-4 alignment, which is like I want to call it tight 3-4. I don't tight 5-0, I guess. I don't know what to call it because these guys are so far inside. Williams is like a shaded 1, almost a 0. 3 tech, outside of the guard. This might be a 4-eye almost, but it's not an Okie. It's not an Eagle. But let's watch Matabike shoot hands on Wyatt Teller, All-Pro. Matabike gave him a ton of problems last year in the Poopy game, in the last primetime game they played, the last time they played. So just watch this progression. Matabike and Welch. Look at him blow Teller back into the backfield, and Welch just calmly come in and bam. Matabike chases it down. He's got a little something to say after. A little, I didn't quite get the whole thing in, but he had a little side hip. I think there were some memes about it. Just flowing. Queen on the backside there. We can put him under the microscope here. He's just trying to flow as well. Prevent the cutback lane, but Hooper does a good job and gets reached. So he's kind of getting double teamed by 2 guys. It's going to happen. But again, Welch and Matabike. Matabike just bullying. Look how far back he got Weller off the ball. Or Teller, not Weller. So Teller's right there on the 35, really at the 36. His helmet's over there, and watch how far back Matabike displaces him. It's like 2 yards. Hunt's got nowhere to go. He's got to go try to take out Welch. And Matabike still reaches over and makes a play. So Matabike, man, doesn't have the gaudy numbers this year. Him and Calais Campbell really don't. None of the Ravens defensive linemen have the sacks or anything, but there's just these flashes all the time. And flashes is a word that makes it sound like it's inconsistent, but it's not. He is a really unique player, really unique skill set. And I love watching him play. Here I just had that Bakers refuses to come off of his first read, no matter what. And we got Welch as the mic. So they're playing these guys in a little bit of a pass situation here. Welch is the mic. Queen's, splitting out, working in coverage a little bit. And Baker just won't look away because Welch doesn't really have a feel for where this route is behind him. And that's something he's going to have to improve on. But, look at, I think, Njoku coming out of the backfield. They line Jarvis Landry up in the backfield as the back. So Queen knows something funny's happened here and kind of splits it. And Baker, man, what the hell are you doing? Guys were wide open. Hooper's open for a bit. Could have snuck that one in there probably low. And then Joku on the backside. And, I mean, what are we doing, Baker? But Queen here, like it from Queen out in space. Stays even. Eyes through the receiver to the quarterback. Works with him. Squares back up. Works back over. And I think it's Bowser. Bowser, again, just working. So we got OA. Got a 5-man front here. Got OA in the 4-point stance on the other side over Wills. We usually see him on the over the right tackle a lot, but sometimes it's a little bit more spacing wise. So Wills kind of wins there athletically, gets a good hand placement early. But let's watch Bowser here. Just work. And we can also watch Baker. So the tight end comes on, Bowser. Welch committing a little bit too aggressively. It's okay to go get eyes on the tight end. Go feel him. Go get hands on him and displace him. And Baker's just staring there for so long. Comes back here, panicked. You know, what is this? You're doing this in the pocket. If you're doing a deep sumo lunge in the pocket or squat in the pocket, something's bad, Baker. I mean, Bowser comes pretty close to jarring that ball out. But again, we can see Bowser just work through the tight end. He's locking out on the tight end, gets through it. And then just shoots inside, gets skinny, and look at that pursuit speed, man. He's such a freaking athlete. Love me some Tyus Bowser. Might be getting me a Bowser jersey, to be honest. Houston snakes inside the inside rip, and Teller holds Matabike for 2 seconds while Matabike is in the air. So see Houston win early on this one. On Wills, see that inside rip. Just gives that little shimmy. Just that little and rips under. Ravens are trying to stunt here. And let's watch Teller hold the absolute piss out of Justin Madubuike here. So Madubuike is slanting and is blowing Teller into the backfield. Teller's right here is about to go down, so he grabs him, which pulls on him. And now Baker starts to run. And watch the hold. Here's the hold. Hands up. Hands up again. Puts his hands up twice, and there's no call there. Joku did a good Ole with Bowser there, and then 62 puts him down. But look at Madubuike here getting held, man. This is an all-pro guard that is being forced to hold Madubuike after he just whooped him. And Baker's just hobbling around back there. I mean, look at the short little strides. He's hurting. Baker needs these weeks off. He's going to come back all frisky-like against the Ravens if those injuries heal up. This one, missed opportunity. I had that it seemed like Lamar wanted Mark to go up and get it, and communication issues. So it's another one of these fake screens. We've seen them from the Ravens where it's a fake screen. Andrews hits the seam. We've seen him have a couple times have some touchdowns on these and things. Even Bateman's selling the screen too, and then Bateman's going to launch. And it's like, you can put the ball up for Bateman there too, but Andrews is where he's looking. This is the one where he grabs face mask. You can see it right there. See the helmet turn. Andrews doesn't care. Lamar's stepping up in the pocket. Look at the clean pocket he has and the running lane he has, but he doesn't do it. So this is a good play from Lamar. Let's look at it this way. Nice presence from Lamar. Nice and easy. Decent base. Could have opened the front foot a little bit more. Just to help guide. But it looks like Lamar wanted Mark to sit down here a little bit. Look at he slows up. But Lamar wanted this to go into the end zone. It's just a little too high. He wanted Mark like into the goal line. So I thought this was really inaccurate when I watched the TV broadcast, but it looks like he just thinks Mark is going to keep running right there, and he doesn't. Mark is trying to sit down a little bit in between the defenders, and Lamar was like, go up and get it. So missed opportunities, man. Missed opportunities. And Lamar called that fake screen at the line. You see that check there? A little pump for the screen. Another pump. Hesitated a little bit, maybe too long. Ball probably could have come out a touch earlier. Would have been in rhythm. This one again. I don't love that one. Jeremiah Wusu-Kormo has no idea what's happening. He's like, what is happening here? And it's a little too high there. So I thought it was inaccuracy, but I think it's a little bit more so miscommunication. I think it was an accurate high pass, and he wanted Mark like 2 yards further. So I'll give Lamar the break there. And then here I just have poor shot Bateman. This one's circulated on Twitter a bit, but Ravens are in twins. Freeman working out the backside. And Bateman, right now, you let this ball go, he scored a touchdown. So instead we see Duvernay working. Lamar needs to throw this now. Throw to Duvernay now. Throw to Duvernay now. Too late. Floats on him. So, like watch Duvernay. Andrews even too. These two end up running. Oh, Andrews runs into him a little bit. So that's where these options can lead to some bad spacing a little bit. But nice move from Andrews. Bateman wide open. But right now, I mean, throw it. Throw it. Throw it. He was running a little bit too fast, but I guess he was trying to gather himself, but this ends up being a hold anyway on Villanueva. Garrett gives him a little low lay. But it's just not seeing the field, not getting the ball out on time. And why is the hold? I mean, Lamar's rolling out, so Garrett's going to try and dip around the outside. I guess that doesn't make sense. This was just Villanueva tries to be aggressive and misses. And he holds him just a little bit. Just that little turn there. And look at McCary on the other side, actually. McCary does have the benefit that Andrews could be there, so it's gonna make the rusher think about that. But watch his feet. Look at this kick slide. Look at his kick step. Watch it on McCary. Cutting up a rug. Ta-ta. Ta-ta-ta. McCary's good, man. I mean, that ball had a chance, but too much time to recover. Just everything was off. Everything was off. Frustrating watch. Frustrating watch. And here I have that Duvernay might be the most open of any Raven all season. Clean pocket. Not throw ready. Not throw ready in the pocket. Now he's back, leaning back on that leg. So let's go back to the beginning. Duvernay and I think Watkins. And then we got Tomlinson and Andrews. Tomlinson running helping out on the right side there. Look at Duvernay, man. 20 yards by himself. So let's see when. So what happens here on the back end? So it looks like that's a too high. Cover 4. And this DB thinks, oh, Lamar's going to run it. He's got no assignments over here. 21, I guess that's Ward. Who is Lamar reading is my question. What is he reading? Because the concept here is that Andrews and Duvernay are going to cross. They're going to cross right around, the 40, somewhere around the 40. So these two are going to cross here and here. He goes upfield, bends it up. 33 is going with him. So who are you reading? Are you reading a defender? Are you reading, what are you reading? You got to be reading a safety here. And as that happens, just panic. No anticipation there either. Like, if you see that safety running away, he can't levitate backwards the other way. He's not going to be able to dissipate. So, just very frustrating overall. Cover 0 on 3rd down. Watkins has a pick. Doesn't go to the bullet slant. So they run the cover 0. And Lamar is holding the ball in the air. Like, that is not mechanics, man. That is not conducive to a successful throw. Hesitate. Might have got rough in the passer if he got rid of it. Nah, he didn't get hit hard enough. But it's, what is that going to be? Basic cover 3, loaded box. The Browns have Landry on a crosser. No urgency here. The Ravens need to stay out of this look, and teams should throw at it every time, is what I had. I mean, Bynes doesn't have the speed to do anything. If you can get a wide receiver on Bynes, And this basic cover 3 again. We already saw them get gashed out of it once. This time, Clark's high. Stevens here. So they're anticipating the run. They really don't care about the pass, I don't think, in this game really at all. They don't think Baker makes good decisions. We've seen multiple times him and Lamar were just chickens with their heads cut off in this game. And nobody's going and running with Landry. Bynes is too slow to do anything. He's not even really running anyway, but not going to get there. Another just layup down the field. Those two, the one that I showed earlier, the sail route, this one, and then we're going to see another one, I think, to Bryant, are like 70% of the Browns' passing yards, and they're just easy. So the Ravens defense had a good performance, but still, man, how easy can this be? Somebody's got to have a different, there's got to be a different spin to it. Bynes go get depth. Or Queen go, robot and run, I guess. Somebody, Stevens, run with him. Like something. Something has to happen differently here. And who's down here? Let's see. Bowser, I guess, is fine. He's playing the tight end. He's neutral, but it's just layup after layup. That's a huge play. Ball's on the 16. Now they're at the 45, 43. These soft zones, they're anticipating run. They were willing to make Baker. I mean, you're not going to get any pressure with Ellis and Williams is the other downside. They're not going to get any pressure. Adebike getting double teamed. And Teller is just, standing up Brandon Williams. And Williams had a good game against the run, but just standing him up. So this is the Njoku touchdown afterwards. I said, look who called this a touchdown. And just a quick look. Which ref calls this a touchdown? Let's see. Is it the back judge? No. It's this one. How that? Brother. How can you see, man? How can you see? And he's looking to him for the call. Okay. And then they reviewed it, and they just couldn't admit to themselves that it was wrong. Clean pocket. Duck. That was a dead duck falling out of the sky after getting hit with pellets. That's funny. We all watched that 1,000 times. We don't need to go back through that one. So I think we're going to see Duvernay with a lot more carries soon, and look at how Murray and Andrews seal this one up on the outside. Look at that. Look at that hole. Andrews riding, Murray dedicating his body back inside. Nice tackle from Anthony Walker, really, because that was a nice gain, nice play. This, I think, is second down. I'm not sure. Maybe it was first down, but Anthony Walker doesn't get him. Whoo, it was going to be a foot race. We're going to see a lot more of that. Patrick Queen is destroying tosses, the one we saw last week. Here he is the Mike. End of the field. So there's the run strength, end of the field. Even though there's not really one in the NFL, it doesn't make that big of a difference because the hashes are so tight. But just runs that alley, man. Goes and tackles Kareem Hunt over top, and he's fired up. So many impact plays he made in this game. Him and Welch. Again in tandem here. Houston. Bullying. I mean, he had blockers there if he could get there, but Queen went underneath. Perfect angle. Not out of control. He is so much faster than this, but he is not out of control. IDs it immediately. Starts running with it. And I don't even know how Chuck Clark got through there. Let's watch that too. There must be some Herculean effort from him as well. He's getting blocked by two guys. Snakes underneath, dives back into it. Clark does everything he can. So that was a hell of a play from those two. Said Browns finally get numbers against the Ravens. Ravens aren't accounting for this right. We can see all the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then they're going to pull on this toss. Queen's going the other way, so that doesn't help. He was anticipating something else. Everything gets blocked up and sealed. And Chuck Clark just fights off Hooper and goes and makes Nick Chubb so that he can't get rumbling. So a hell of a play from Chuck Clark here. All this space. Browns are pulling front side with 2. They seal Bowser inside. They seal Bynes inside. You got a block on Stevens, who strings it out as best as he can. But, I mean, Hunt, I guess, really should have tried to hit that right there. So maybe that's a little bit of a misstep now that I'm watching. Right there, you just hit it. But instead, he tries to go back outside. Clark makes a grown man tackle on him. And grabbing those legs is not an easy task. So kudos to Chuck Clark there. And then I just had that Freeman is cutting dudes up. Every game we see one of these. Look at what he does here. Cut back. Chop! Look at him grabbing for air. Whoop! Look at this. Look at Anthony Walker. Gives himself a 2-way go. See ya, brother. Getting blocked up. See ya, brother. Watch it in full speed. See ya. Cutting dudes up. I have to hop off. That is all for today's show. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Would have had a little bit more time if it wasn't for that, but I have to hop on to the Behind the Steel Curtain podcast. Listen to that coming out tomorrow, I believe. Talking some Steelers, so I have to head out. Don't have time for all the comments today, but I appreciate you guys for jumping on. Hope you had some fun. And throw some likes, throw some subscribes, throw all the good stuff, give all the good vibes, all the good stuff. Love you guys. I will see you later. See ya.